Normally in public universities, they really embrace socialist, communist topics and things like that. And I find it curious because the university does a lot of pro-Palestinian promotion and propaganda. So I don't know if it's really because they're anti-imperialist or something like that. And in case you answer me later, what do you think would be the key factor that could change Israel's perspective on the world? Good questions.
Good questions, you're right. In academia, the ideological left predominates. It's a theory that was developed more than a decade ago, and I dare say even longer, called intersectionality. What is intersectionality? It's the ideology that minorities should join forces or the oppressed should unite against the oppressor. For example, you'll always see a diametric opposition between the oppressed and the oppressor, and for example, in ideologies that tend to be on the left, the oppressor is the man and the oppressed is the woman. The oppressor is the white person and the oppressed are everyone else who isn't white. The oppressor is the rich person and the oppressed are the poor, and that's how they create a narrative. So what happens? What is intersectionality? It's this, let's say, way in democracy where all these, how do you say it? Opposites intersect, they meet, and in this way the oppressed, even if they have nothing in common with each other, must fight together against their respective oppressors. So you'll see women who are fighting against the rich. Why? Because that's the intersection with the poor, if you know what I mean. So that oppressed person, the category doesn't matter. So there's the feminist woman, she has to support the oppressed, who in their view is the Palestinian people. That's a mistaken conception, because how does it make sense that the oppressed are those who open 7 fronts and are surrounding Israel with 7 fronts of conflict at the same time? The oppressed are those who carry out attacks, those who, because of them, there is no peace, and so on. But for them, the Palestinians, yes, Hamas are always the oppressed. That's why. The thing is, in intersectionality, which is this theory developed in this kind of society, the left must support the Palestinian cause. And this is madness. Why? Because the values that the left promotes, for example, are, I don't know, or for example, feminism, which also fits with this. That women have rights, that women have value in society. What values does it promote? Hamas. That women have no rights, no value in society, that she is her husband's possession, that she has to be covered. So this is where the absurdity of intersectionality comes in. Like when you have a group of, for example, gays for Hamas. Look, Hamas takes homosexuals and throws them off buildings just because of their orientation, their personal preferences. Because Hamas, just like other radical groups where they behead people who have... Do you think in Gaza they can raise a multicolored flag? No, that doesn't exist. But in the West, it's very easy for kids who just finished school, sitting at their desks, to be accepted into a public university. You, out of your own pockets, pay for these progressives who have no idea what it means to fight, what life is, what anything is. They take a position that's disconnected from reality, with progressives supporting anti-progressive values. That's why I'm glad people like you exist, who are actually taking advantage and will benefit in a good way from these, let's say, taxes and from the public universities that are funded by the state and out of people's pockets. People like you are the ones who are going to save academia, although I think academia will end at some point. Social media and artificial intelligence and all of this are ending academia. But while it lasts, people like you are the ones who still give me hope that academia has a solution. People like you who, despite this indoctrination, stay awake. I congratulate you for that, Felipe, really. And the second thing you asked, what can Israel do? I think that we, Israel, need to strengthen our identity. That's the big question of our generation, the identity of why Israel returned to our land after 2,000 years. It's a topic that's not very easy to have clear. But I think that this whole historical process that the people of Israel went through, the Jewish people were exiled for 2,000 years and we came back. This has a historical significance that, for me, the explanation is found in the prophets of Israel. Because the prophets foretold that the Jews would return to this land. And for a special purpose, if the Jews took more into account the reason why we returned, I think this universal message of Israel would be much clearer, and that could be the great contribution we could make to the world. Felipe, thank you for your question and stay strong. I know it's not easy in that frenzy of honestly incoherencies that exist, but with God's help, may you have a lot of strength and manage to overcome that indoctrination they try to force on people in universities.
Thank you. See you later.
It really is the limit, honestly. Think about it. Taxpayers' money goes to progressives who leave their classes to protest for a cause they don't even understand. Meanwhile, people like him, like Felipe, who really want to study, who really want to make the world a better place, who really want societies to be well off, who understand this, let's say, intellectual inconsistency. They are affected because the progressives decide to hold protests during class hours and things like that. So yes, I also thought that academia would be free from that.